Update 1.0.22 is out, and while it does have some changes to weapon distance such as the Devastator and the automatic ballista, it's mostly a crafting update, and you're going to want to stay tuned to figure out what has changed and how crafting has been altered in the front. So just like all of my update videos, at the end we're going to talk about all the optimizations, but one of the big ones on this one is they have changed the skills required for certain items, and as you look through here you might notice there's a few things missing. For instance, a couple of the tables no longer exist. Right here you can see resin. Where is the grinding table that's normally right there? So they've gone away with a few of the tables. If you look in the background, you'll notice that there's only like 6 tables that are right actually there, 7 tables, which is a lot less than the 11 it used to be. If you haven't played the front, this is going to sound wild, but with this update, you can finally scroll up and down. You cannot click and drag on the orange bar. You have to hit enter, go over, and then use your mouse wheel and scroll up and down. So now let's actually hop in here and take a look at some of these tables. So the chemist bench had 2 tables that were incorporated into it. The grinding table has been removed and they moved it into the chemist bench, and then the fermenter has been removed and also moved into the chemist bench, which brings us to our next topic with this as well. Hops were previously a fuel for alcohol on the fermenter. Now it's an ingredient to make alcohol, which makes a lot more sense in the grand scheme of things, and I think it's going to be a lot better because if you accidentally leave the hops burning, you could lose thousands of hops on accident. So really good. It's about time they finally did that. We also have our first item that we can now double craft. So crafting stone arrows, you can now craft it in your inventory. Like I've said before, you can do that to make XP, but now you can also craft it on the crafting table. Nothing else has been incorporated into the crafting table other than the stone arrows. So the crafting table did not absorb any other tables. There is now a new hotkey, Shift Z. You just saw the chat on the left going away, coming back. You can Shift Z for that. Now let's go to the forging table. The forging table has absorbed what was previously the metal processor, and the metal processor no longer exists. So you can see there's a lot more items in this table. So once again, a declutterization of your overall experience in the game by removing a table and putting it into another table that makes a lot of sense. Now as we mosey on over to the medical system, the medical table is gone and now there's only one item, the medical station. Everything medical is going to be done on the one bench rather than the 2 it used to be. Now the next one is a very interesting item that people have been confused about why it didn't exist to begin with, but you can now place ladders actually on the pillar. So you can actually build a raid tower and place it all the way up. Right here, something I immediately noticed during my testing, you can also use these ladders to create a thin barrier around it as well for a little bit more extra armor to protect it. Let's say this is a tower that has a couple devastators on it, it's a raid tower. This is just a little bit more protection you could put up to help you defend that tower. Now just like always, let's actually break down the patch notes from Steam. So let's start at the top. Medium AP ammo against vehicles is increased by 30%. So I do agree with this one. I think this is a good update. I think that this is going to make the game a little bit better and make medium AP ammo more lifelike. Medium AP ammo is going to be that 20, 30, 40 millimeter ammo. It should do damage against vehicles, and it's always been minimal at best, so now it's going to do a little bit more, which I think is good. I'm curious how this is going to play out in PvP and if it's going to change the vehicle meta, which vehicles really aren't all that great to begin with compared to some of the other rocket launchers, especially the ones that can lock on and fire from 500 meters, but we'll see how this plays out. The range of the automatic ballista while shooting stone arrows is now 50 meters. I think that's a good change. I have no problem with that. However, this next one, the maximum range for the Devastator autogun increased to 130 meters. So when I break down this maximum range increase for the Devastator autogun, it does really not give you a lot on the defense. 30 meters really isn't all that much. However, it is substantial when thinking about raid towers. Whenever they make a tower to raid you with, so whenever you open the door, a Devastator fires into your base. So I do not like this. I think that the raid towers are already very dangerous and can be very OP. I get it, it is a PvP mechanic, it's very similar to Rust, I understand that. I do not agree with this personally. Nothing big on this next one, the optimization of continuous moving speed triggered by the springboard, nothing big there. I don't understand how this next one though is an optimization. When crafting this game, how did we not make it to where ladders can be placed on pillars? How did we miss that, right? Ladders are the exact same size as a pillar. How was that never a thing to start with? So, I mean, it's good that they fixed it. It's good to see the developers are stopping putting in content and fixing things that we want to see fixed. But this right here does show a problem, right? How is this missed? But like I said, it's fixed now. All right, new shortcut key, Shift Z to toggle the chat interface. That's pretty good. I like that. Scroll up and down in the chat interface to view the chat history. This is another item. How did we miss this? How is it I've always been able to see the little scroll bar on the chat history, but I've never been able to use it? So why did we have something in the game but wasn't actually fully implemented? All right, so all the big ones, including one I missed. So the metal processor no longer exists. That has been moved to the forging table. The medical table no longer exists, has been moved into the medical station. The grinding table, once again, no longer exists, has been moved into the chemist bench. Also moved into the chemist bench is the fermenter. That as well has been moved. And if we look down a couple, hops will not be used as fuel. It will be consumed while making alcohol. So 2 items right here that are good to see. So I did miss this one. They have removed the gear crafting table. So I don't have any footage of this one, but the gear crafting table no longer exists. Everything in that table has been moved to the weapon crafting table, and the name of the weapon crafting table is now the personal gear crafting table. So you have the gear crafting table, weapon crafting table combined into the personal gear crafting table. So once again, another table gone. So if we count those up, they removed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tables. So that's going to be great for us because it's going to reduce the clutter of your base. Next, they adjusted some of the level requirements for the tech tree and some relevant quests, and they added stone arrows to the crafting table. So this is the first item that we can craft in 2 places, right? Without having to build 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables, right? So now you can make stone arrows in 2 places. The problem with this is after level 10 or 15, you don't need stone arrows if we're being 100% honest. After level 15, you're generally crafting stone arrows for the sole purpose of having more XP by crafting them in your inventory. That's the only reason you're really crafting them. You very quickly in this game level out of it and you want to upgrade for defensive purposes away from stone arrows and into actual making ammo with gunpowder and stuff like that. And for those of us playing on a dedicated server or a solo hosted game, they added max levels for followers in the game creating interface. So now that's actually something you can set up. So that is the key points of all the optimizations. I'm going to leave it up while I do my closing remarks so you can keep reading. So update 1.0.22 has some great items, some great crafting items. I'm glad to see that they're actually listening to us, the players. As I've said in my last video, I'm kind of over the game. However, I'm glad to see that this is happening. If this keeps up, I'm probably going to come back to this game as they fix things that I want them to fix to make it more fun for me, the player. So this is awesome. I'm glad to see it, and I really do hope that this keeps up. The reduction in the amount of tables is going to be so much better. Whenever you think about games like 7 Days to Die and there's like 5 or 6 total tables, this game had 11 or 12 tables, I forget off the top of my head. So 11 or 12 tables, that is ridiculous. It's almost impossible to build a micro base because you need so much room to put down so many different tables. So I'm glad to see that this is getting a little bit better and they're consolidating all this into less items. A huge shout out to my supporters. Thank you, Wishful, Ben Troll, Tony Landers, Alex Barks, Armadilla, and Sparta Knight. Thank you so much, guys, for joining the YouTube supporter program. It really means a lot that you care so much about my channel, Off Duty Gaming. Next, thank you to all the viewers, everybody that's watching this video. You are the reason that I make this content, to help you enjoy your video game time and help you enjoy that little bit of off time that you have. So thank you for being here. If you did enjoy the content, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and be paying attention because we are going to be starting a new game in Shrouded January 24th, 2024. So I hope to see you there, and I hope that my videos make that game a little bit more enjoyable for you. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and until next time guys, thanks for watching from Off Duty Gaming.